نبينا وإمامنا محمد الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, He has legislated and encouraged the affair of marriage. And there have come many texts within the Book of Allah and the Sunnah of the Masjid sallallahu alaihi wasallam encouraging and calling to this affair due to that which it contains from benefit in this world as well as in the hereafter, from the bringing about of children, the increasing of the ummah, likewise the affair of the individual finding love and affection and contentment of heart within side of the institution of marriage. As Allah Ta'ala says, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنَّ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. He said, and indeed from His signs is that He has created for you spouses from amongst yourselves in order that you may find comfort with her. And He has placed between you mawadda, love, likewise rahmah, mercy. إِنَّا فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Indeed, in this there are signs for those people who reflect. However, at times, the marriage may become something to be other than that. It's no longer a place wherein you find comfort, no longer a place wherein you find love, contentment of heart. But perhaps the affairs between the husband and the wife, they become unbearable. In which case Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has legislated a way out. And it is the affair of divorce. So I want to speak regarding some of the ahkam and the rulings connected to the affair of divorce. And this, what we'll be reading from, is based upon a khutbah given by Sheikh Ali al-Haddadi, hafidhahullah wa ra'ahu, regarding this particular topic. And so, نقول وبالله التوفيق, we say, and Allah Ta'ala is the grantor of success. وقد جاءت أحكام الطلاق مفصلة في كتاب الله وفي سنة رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Indeed, the affairs and the rulings of al-talaq or divorce, they have come within detail in the Book of Allah and the Sunnah of the Masjid of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. No doubt this is something which is important. Just as we must know how to get married properly so that we make sure that our marriages are sound and intact. Because many people make mistakes as it relates to the affair of marriage, how they go about getting married. They want to cut corners and the likes of this. Likewise, you must know, just as you must know how to get married properly, you must know how to divorce properly. If there's a need for it, you must know how to divorce properly. So the Shaykh, he mentions that these affairs and these rulings have come detailed inside of the Book of Allah and the Sunnah. ومن تلك الأحكام, and from these rulings is أن يكون الطلاق في العدة. The divorce, it takes place at the iddah. It takes place at the iddah, right? And what does it mean the divorce takes place at the iddah? It has two meanings. It has two meanings. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَا أَيُّهَا النَّبِي إِذَا تَلَقْتُمُ النِّسَاءَ فَطَلِّقُوهُنَّ لِعِدَّتِهِنَّ وَأَحْصُوا الْعِدَّةِ. O Prophet, if it be that you divorce women, divorce them at their iddah and count precisely the period of time that the iddah is. So the iddah, or divorcing the woman at the iddah, it bears two meanings. The first meaning of divorcing at the iddah is that talaq al-iddah huwa at-talaq fi athna al-hamal idha tabayyan hamluha jaza talaquha. The first meaning is that divorce at the iddah is that the woman is divorced while she's pregnant. If it becomes clear that she's already pregnant, then she can be divorced while she's pregnant. She can be divorced while she's pregnant. Okay? The second meaning is that إِذَا طَهَرَتْ, if she becomes pure from her menstruation, meaning that the man has had intercourse with her, there's problems, right? He doesn't divorce her then, as soon as the problems occur. Rather, she has to come upon her menses, then become pure from that cycle. And then divorce becomes permissible if he wants to divorce her. Okay, so once she becomes pure from her cycle, then at that point, the man can divorce her. But before he touches her again, and before he would have intercourse with her again, because if he has intercourse with her again after that, he has to wait again until another cycle comes on and then goes off. Okay? He says, وَهَذَانْ وَقْتَانْ يُبَاحْ فِيهِمَا الطَّلَاقِ. These two times, divorce is permissible. These are the two times right here, divorce is permissible. Alright? Once it's clear that she's pregnant, or, what's the other? She becomes pure from her cycle. Okay? He says, وَهَذَا مِنْ حِكْمَةِ الشَّارِعِ. This is from the wisdom of the legislator. It's from the wisdom of the legislator. He says, because these are two times, and it's the wisdom behind it. Right? Why are these two times the times when you can divorce the woman? He said these two times are less likely that the man would divorce her. It's less likely that a man would divorce her these two times. And the intent of the legislation of Islam is that the marriage lasts, that the marriage stays intact. So when a man finds out that his wife is pregnant, the chances of him divorcing her then are less. He finds out she's pregnant, right? Then he may hold up. Let's rethink this, okay? Let's work it out for the sake of the child and the likes of this, right? And likewise, if he has to wait a whole cycle, right, till she finishes the cycle, and then becomes pure from that, then it's hope that those problems that occurred, that notion about, will have gone away. Will have gone away. And now he's calm, they're both calm, they're thinking rationally. So now we're going to talk it out. We're going to work it out. So this is the reason why these are the two times in which the man can divorce his wife. Now, he says, فَأَمَّا الَّتِي as for the woman who does not menstruate, right? As for the woman who does not menstruate due to youth or due to old age, or for whatever reason, she may not menstruate regularly, right? Menopause and the likes of this. He said, as for this woman, then she can be divorced anytime that she's pure. Anytime that she's pure and not bleeding or not menstruating, anytime that she's pure, then she can be divorced because her cycle is not regular. And her iddah at that point lasts for a period of 3 months. Lasts for a period of 3 months. Okay, and it's no longer connected to the cycle, because the iddah is normally connected to the menstrual cycle of the woman, right? She menses, goes off, menses, goes off, menses, goes off, like this, and at this point the iddah is over. Now, so this is the first ruling. The first ruling is what? That she must be divorced at what? At the iddah, and that bears two meanings. Okay? He said the second ruling is that if the man intends to divorce the wife, he divorces her marratin wahida, one time in one sitting. One time in one sitting. Meaning that he does not say, I divorce you, I divorce you, I divorce you. This is talaq bid'i. It's an innovative divorce. It's an innovative divorce, and it's not correct. And this is based upon Yarhamukallah. This hadith been mentioned by al-Tawus. Al-Tawus, he said, إِذَا أَرَدْتَ الطَّلَاقِ, he said, if you wish to divorce the woman, then divorce her when she becomes pure, before touching her again. And divorce her بِتَطْلِيقَ وَاحِدَةٍ, with one single divorce. It is not proper that you increase upon that. It's not proper that you increase upon that. And from the wisdoms behind this is that each divorce has an iddah. So if we were to accept that she divorced her 3 times in one sitting, each single divorce, every time you divorce her, there's a prescribed waiting period for that single divorce. So therefore, divorcing her 3 times in one sitting like this, it would do away with that iddah that each single divorce has, right? And that would likewise contradict the intention of the legislation, which is that the husband, after a divorce, Raj'i, that the divorce is the divorce which is revocable, he can take her back. It does away with that particular intent and objective. So therefore, the second ruling is that the divorce, it takes place one time in one sitting. The third divorce, or the third ruling, as it relates to the affair of divorce, is that the woman who has been divorced with a talaq that is raj'i, that it is revocable, that means that the husband can take her back, so that it is not the third time divorcing her, right? A divorce that is revocable, that she has mal al-zawjat min al-sakin wa nafaqa, that she has due to her what is due to other wives from housing, spending, and the likes of this. And likewise due upon her is due what is upon other wives, from having to seek her husband's permission before leaving the house, having to beautify herself for him, and all of these affairs. He says, so therefore she remains inside of her home. She remains inside of the home, so the husband doesn't kick her out. You don't kick her out. Likewise, she does not leave. She does not pack her bags and leave, right? Except in extreme cases, which the Sheikh mentions later. Except certain extreme cases, which he's going to mention later, wherein she would actually depart from the marital home. But if it is not from those extreme cases, and he has divorced her with a divorce that is revocable, he is not to put her out, nor is she to leave. He is still to spend upon her and to maintain her for the duration of her iddah, and she has to obey him. She has to seek his permission before leaving. She has to beautify herself for him throughout this time. He said that فَإِنَ الزَّوْجِ إِذَا رَآهَا كَذَلِكَ, if the husband sees her in this state, sees her that she's still beautifying herself for him, sees her that she's maintaining good manners and seeking his permission before she leaves the house, and the likes of this, it is hoped that he should take her back. It is hoped that he should take her back, either by way of qawl, by way of statement, or by way of the fi'l, or the action. And him taking her back by way of action is what? It's the act of intercourse. The act of intercourse, right? So, therefore, if the husband were to have intercourse with her without the intention of taking her back, Shaykh Uthaymeen said that he's atham, he's a sinner, and he deserves to be punished. He deserves to be punished. Because some men, they do this. They play these games, right? They play these games. They go and they may, be intimate with their wife who was in iddah, and say, well, I didn't intend on taking her back. I didn't take her back. It just happened, It just happened. Okay. So, in this case, this is how the husband takes her back. And it's not a condition, the ulama mentioned it's not a condition if he takes her back by way of statement that he calls witnesses to that, but it is afdal, it's better that he calls witnesses to the fact that he has divorced her, likewise to the fact that he has taken her back, that he seeks witnesses for that. Now, Allah Ta'ala mentioned within his book, Ya ayyuha nabi, إِذَا تَرَقْتُمُ النِّسَاءَ فَطَالِقُهُنَّ لِعِدَّتِهِنَّ, O Prophet, if you divorce women, then divorce them at their iddah, and count precisely the iddah. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ رَبَّكُمْ, and fear Allah your Lord. لَا تُخْرِجُهُنَّ مِنْ بُيُوتِهِنَّ, and that you are not to expel them from their homes. Don't kick them out of the house. وَلَا يَخْرُجْنَ إِلَّا, and they are not to leave the home except if they were to bring fahisha mubayyina, and if these women were to commit some type of clear-cut act of fahisha. They commit a clear-cut act of fahisha, in that case she can be expelled. Not some supposed or you're suspicious and the likes of this. A clear-cut case of fahisha. Likewise, from the rulings of divorce is that when the husband divorces the woman, it is mustahab, it is recommended. It is recommended that when he divorces the woman and the iddah is completed, then he sets for her some type of provision before letting her loose. Right? Then he sets her up, he sets her some type of provision within reason, within his means. Right? He doesn't put himself into a bind. Right? But then he sets her up with some type of provision before her departing. And this is due to the statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wherein he says, وَلِمُطَلِّقَاتِ مُتَاعًا بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. And for those women who have been divorced, there is like a goodly type of provision that you should set for them within reason. حَقًّا عَلَى الْمُتَّقِينَ. This is something which is a right due upon those who have piety. Those who have piety. And then, it can be difficult for some men to do. But this is what Allah Ta'ala commands with. Allah Ta'ala likewise said, يَا أَيُّهَا النَّبِي قُولِ أَزْوَاجِكَ إِن كُنْتُنَّ تُرِدْنَ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا وَزِينَتَهَا فَتَعَالَيْنَ. O Prophet, say to your wives, if it be that you desire this dunya and its beautiful affairs, and come. He says, I'm going to set a goodly provision for you and then let you go. I'm going to set for you a goodly provision and then I'm going to let you go sarahan jamila, in an excellent manner. In an excellent manner. We're going to mention some things later as it relates to this particular affair of letting them go in an excellent manner and what this means. However, the Shaykh, he mentions that this is something which is recommended, that within means and within reason he sets for her a provision before letting her go completely. And from that which the Shaykh draw attention to, a tanbih, is that it is important. It is important, ikhwan, that we know problems are going to occur within marriages. Things are going to come up. And so the first resolution should not be parting ways. And the first resolution should not be sisters as well seeking khula and the likes of this. Right? As men, the Shaykh mentions that we are required to have another ila mahasan zawja. Look at her good qualities. To look at her good qualities. Likewise for the women. Look at your husband's good qualities. If you see something from him that may displease you, you see something from your wife that may displease you, look to her good qualities. This is what we are required to do. As Allah Ta'ala mentioned, وَعَاشِرُهُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ, and live with them, associate with them in goodness. فَإِن كُرِحْتُمُوهُنَّ, if it be that you dislike them, then perhaps you dislike a thing that is good for you. Allah Ta'ala will bring about that affair abundant good. Allah will bring about from that affair abundant good. So therefore, we are reminded to look at the excellent qualities and manners of association from our spouses. I want to move on now to where the Shaykh mentions some of the akhta, some of the errors and mistakes that occur as it relates to the affair of divorce. Because some people make very many mistakes. They make very many mistakes. It's in al-akhta التي تقع في كثير من الناس في الطلاق كثيرة جدا. He said that indeed the mistakes and errors which occur from some of the people in the affair of divorce are very many. وَمِنْهَا عَلَى سَبِيلِ الْمِثَالِ, from them, by way of example only, not by way of restriction, by way of example only, is لجوء كثير من الأزواج إلى التحديد بالطلاق بالشكل. He said that some of the husbands, they quickly resort to threatening their wives with divorce, right? With the first occurrence of problems. And this happens frequently. Every mushkila, every problem that occurs, they bring up divorce. Or they threaten their wives with divorce. Right? So they mean said firstly that this is not from manliness, it's not from manhood that one does this. You threaten her with divorce every time you get mad at her. Right? By Allah, we heard of a situation recently where a husband divorced his wife 40 times. And it gets to the point where the sister mentioned that he starts playing with divorce. He starts playing with it and joking around with it. And he starts saying things like, I divorce you, oh Fatima, the sister's name may be Amatullah. He's joking. I divorce you, O Fatima. I divorce you, O Zainab. I divorce you, O Khadija. And the likes of this. Right? He's playing games. And when we called Sheikh Fuad al-Amri regarding this issue, and the sister, she spoke Arabic, so she explained the affair to Sheikh Fuad, the first thing that came out of Sheikh's mouth is Majnoon hada. This guy's insane. He's insane. You know? So some of the affairs that some of the men do as it relates to divorce, they play games with divorce, or they're quick to divorce with the first occurrence of problems and issues. Even if they're small, the Sheikh says, هذا من سوء العشرة. This is from evil manners of association. He said that when there occurs within the heart, or due to that which it occurs, that which it places within the heart of the wife from fear and anxiety. The Shaykh says, at-talaq, he said that talaq, it is not an affair which one should be threatened with. Divorce, ikhwan, is not a means of discipline. You don't discipline her by way of divorcing her. There's other ways to discipline her. Legislated ways to discipline the woman, as the Shaykh is going to mention. Right? However, divorce is the final resolution after which, or before which I should say, one has exhausted all other means of resolution, and the affair simply becomes unbearable that you cannot stay together and fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then divorce is the last step. It's not a means of discipline which you're going to threaten her with at the first occurrence of problems and issues. Now, and this has to be clear. So this is the first khata, or mistake, which the Shaykh mentions. The second mistake which he mentioned, rahmatullah, is al-mubadira ila talaq in the wuqu' al-ikhtilaf, is hastening to actually pronounce the divorce. Being quick to pronounce the divorce when there occurs issues and differences, before exhausting all of the other means of resolution that we mentioned. Such as, firstly, Allah mentions what? Admonish them. Admonish them. Then next, refuse to share the bed. And then next, beat them lightly if it is useful. We heard our brother Rashid mention something from that last night, and the etiquette of that, and how that is properly done. Right? So once the individual has exhausted all of these remedies, you start counseling and the likes of that. Then, if the affair becomes unbearable and you can't take it anymore, and you cannot no longer fear Allah staying with her, or vice versa, you can no longer fear Allah staying with you, then you can explore that option. However, it should not be the first result. The next issue, or the next mistake which is made, is that people embark upon a divorce that opposes the legislation. It's mukhalaf al-shar'. It opposes the legislation, meaning that it is not a correct divorce. It is not a correct and sound divorce. He said that إما في وقته وإما في, either in the time in which the husband pronounces divorce, as he mentioned before, the two times when you can. These are the two times when you can pronounce divorce. It is restricted to that. It is restricted to that. So a person may be intimate with his wife tonight. Afterwards, a problem occurs. I divorce you. And they don't. This is a divorce which has contradicted the legislation in terms of its time, right? Or in the number of times in which he does it, or he does it. It opposes the legislation either in the time or the number of times in which he does it. The next khata or mistake which some of the people make as it relates to the affair of divorce, al-mubadira ila ikhraj al-mar'a, is hastening to expel the divorced woman from, or who has been divorced, with the divorce that is the first or second, and one hastens to expel her and to send her back to the home of her family. Or the woman herself leaves. The woman herself leaves and goes to the house of her family. And this, كما سمعتم مخالف لحكم الله, And this is something which opposes the ruling of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for Allah ta'ala has prohibited expelling the woman from the home, and likewise prohibited the woman leaving from the home, إِلَّا فِي حَالَاتٍ مُعَيِّنَةٍ مَحْدُودَةٍ, except in certain extreme, limited and restricted cases. Yani there's the fear of fitna. There's fear of fitna. Or there's, a true fear of fitna, because, this is something where some of the people may interpret where I fear fitna, so she got to go. And there's no real reason to fear any type of fitna. She's not trying to stab you, or she's being beat upon, the likes of this, right? Certain extreme cases, and there's a true and imminent fear of fitna, or Allah Ta'ala can no longer be feared if she stays inside of the home, and the likes of this. Not simply annoyance and you're upset and she's upset, and the likes of this, right? Certain very rare cases that are limited, then she can be expelled or she can leave. And we advise always, as it relates to these affairs, to have the ability to call the ulama. You pick up the phone and you call them, or you get in touch with somebody who can call the scholars for you before making these types of decisions and making these types of moves. Because knowledge, la yajiru shay, there's nothing which is equal to it, and it safeguards you from making mistakes and falling into errors as it relates to these issues. Many people, they do things and then seek the ruling afterwards. Alright, they want to make a move and then seek the ruling on that move afterwards. Then they call you, this is what happened, what's the ruling on that? I don't know. You didn't find out the ruling before you did it. They want you to call the sheikh and the likes of this, and then you got to call the sheikh, and surprisingly enough, right, here's the issue. You'd be surprised. We call the ulama. Our brother Rashid can witness this. We call the scholars regarding rulings of divorce and the likes of this, and what do they say? Call the mufti. I don't give fatwas about divorce. Right? I have a voice note on my phone right from Sheikh Yahya Talibi. I sent him a question, Sheikh. Though this is what happened in divorce and so on and so forth. The man did this, so on and so forth. Sheikh, it messaged me back. Wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. La ufti fi umur al-talaq. I don't answer questions about divorce. Call the noble mufti. Right? There's been times where we call the ulama, and they tell you, call the mufti. Do you have his number? Keep you on the phone until you take his number. Take the number. Call him. Right? So it may not be that easy to get a question answered. So you want to do proper research and study and ask questions and the likes of this before you make these types of moves. Alright? Don't make the move and then seek the answer afterwards, or seek the ruling afterwards. Be correct when you do things. The next ruling, and we'll conclude with this, or the next mistake rather, that takes place as it relates to the affairs of divorce, is that the divorce, it is preceded by or followed by different and various types of harm. It is followed by or preceded by various types of harm, such as beating. Some men beat their women and hit their women. Or different types of oppression. Or fahsh al-qawl, cursing. Right? Some people, they go out kicking and screaming, as they say. Right? They have to go out with a bang. You're not going to just do that to me. Right? They don't know how to part ways in a reasonable and logical and sane manner. Some people don't know how to part ways with another person except in an ugly manner. And it's always going to be an ugly affair. It's going to be cursing. It's going to be fighting. It's going to be, trying to harm each other financially, or trying to harm each other physically, and the likes of this. Right? Different types of arguments and other affairs, which he says, مَا يَلِيقُ بِمُسْلِمٍ وَلَا مُسْلِمَةٍ, which are not befitting of the Muslim or the Muslimah. Not proper, not befitting. First, we know that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that the Muslim is not one who is vulgar in his speech. The Muslim is not one who is vulgar in his speech. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said concerning him, he was not one who was vulgar, no one who was lewd, no one who was foul-mouthed. Right? But you find some of the Muslims, that when it's time to part ways from the men, they become like this. Likewise for the women, they become like this. They start cursing and that, something ugly and unbefitting comes out of them. Allah Ta'ala says, فَأَمْسِكُهُنَّ بِمَعْرُوفٍ أَوْ صَرِّحُهُنَّ بِمَعْرُوفٍ. Either keep them with you, live with them in an excellent manner, or let them go in an excellent manner. Let them go in an excellent manner. Meaning be sane, be logical, be calm, don't act out. Allah likewise says, فَإِمْسَاكُمْ بِمَعْرُوفٍ أَوْ تَصْرِيحٌ بِإِحْسَانٍ. It is either that you retain them and keep them with you in excellence, in an excellent and good manner, or you let them go. You let them go with excellence, in a good manner. Likewise, Allah, He said that فَإِذَا بَلَغْنَا أَجْلُهُنْ, that if they reach their time, meaning the iddah is over with, or is about to be over with, فَأَمْسِكُهُنَّ بِمَعْرُوفٍ, then either you make the decision to keep them in excellence, أَوْ فَارِقُهُنَّ بِمَعْرُوفٍ, or you depart from them in an excellent manner. So these are, in summary, some of the rulings that are connected to this affair of talaq. Likewise, some of the errors and mistakes that are made in the affair of talaq and divorce. And we conclude with this, and we likewise thank our brothers for extending the invitation and inviting us down here to sit with you all and benefit with you all from a series of lectures, and likewise from the speech of the scholars and the telelinks which we have with the scholars. And we say no doubt that we love our brothers for the sake of Allah, and we enjoy the brothers and their hospitality which they extended to us throughout the course of this weekend. And we look forward to many other visits with you all in the future, and likewise to see you all at the upcoming seminars that we have. We have a seminar coming up this month at the Masjid in Norfolk, Virginia. The seminar entitled Makarim al-Akhlaq, or Upright Moral Character. Our brother Kashif Khan, likewise our brother Rashid, our brother Abu Anisa will be visiting us as well. So we encourage the people to come out to that, and to visit all of your Salafi communities in which they have events. And even if they don't have an event, to go to visit these communities and get to know your brothers for the sake of Allah. Many people, they sit on the sideline and they launch complaints and they launch all these grievances regarding the Salafi Masjid. Go visit those Masjid and see what they have going on. You'll see khair, you'll see people learning and knowledge being sought. You'll see connections with the ulama. Go visit these communities and visit your brothers and get to know them for the sake of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. So this is that which we advise with, and again we thank the people for the invitation. Hada wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barik ala nabiyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in.